Okay, looks like I'm live now. Let's see. Okay, streaming live took me a minute to get through some technical things on my end. But I hope that you all are able to hear me and that this LinkedIn Live goes well. Today I'm going to be talking about the top 3 mistakes clinicians make when transitioning into a non-bedside role. So let me see before I start if I can see what's happening here. Let me stop recording for just a moment. Okay, I think I'm live now. Like I said, some technical difficulties. So if this doesn't work out, then it's definitely a learning experience. I'm going to see if I can even see you all on here, but I'm going to be talking today about the top 3 mistakes clinicians make when transitioning into a non-bedside role. And these are things that I've seen several clinicians do, self included. I've made some of these mistakes myself, so it's not that I'm not speaking from experience. But there are ways to, I'm going to talk about what the mistakes are and then some ways to combat them as well. All right, so let's see. If for some reason you cannot hear me, then just let me know. I want to see if I can see you. Hi, Jody. Very good. Okay, now I can see some things. I am learning as I go, you all. All right, so thank you for your patience. All right, let me go. One moment here. Okay. Jody, I'm going to be relying on you too, and whoever, I know there's some other people on here, but if you can't hear me, let me know. If you have questions, type them in the chat, and I will see if I can see them. All right, mistake number 1 that clinicians make when transitioning into a non-bedside role is creating a clinically focused resume. And so what do I mean by that? When you are transitioning to a role that is not, and I don't even want to say not clinical, because you might be doing something in the clinical space like healthcare quality. That's still using your clinical experience, clinical expertise. You might still be working with patients in a different way. But creating a clinically focused resume means highlighting your clinical expertise or your clinical background as the first thing that employers see. You talk about the number of patients you've seen, the different populations you've seen, and you focus on the fact that you're a physical therapist or a speech language pathologist or an occupational therapist. And so when you are looking at creating a resume that is going to transfer to a different type of role that you are not directly patient facing on a day-to-day basis, then you really want to highlight those transferable skills. So all those things that you can do, those projects that you've done, ways that you've added value, things that show your ability to problem solve and critical think and prioritize and be decisive and analyze. Those are the things that you're going to want to highlight first on your resume. You're going to want to show how you add value and the role that you're looking for. So try to avoid saying the word aspiring, because you want to say what you want your future employer to see you as. Does that make sense? So you want to make sure that when you are writing your resume, that your clinical background, your education is at the bottom. right? You don't want that to be the first thing that you see, even though it's very important. You work very hard for your degree. You still don't want to make that the first thing if you're trying to transition away from the bedside. So the first mistake that clinicians make is creating a clinically focused resume. The other thing I'll mention about this is you really want to quantify your achievements. So you want to be specific with how you made an impact in your current role. And maybe you were a clinical instructor, or maybe you helped do the schedule for the therapist for the day, or maybe you led a team, an interdisciplinary team, or maybe you helped your colleagues improve documentation. Whatever they may look like, make sure that you use measurable results to the extent possible that you can. How much, how often, how quickly, and really put numbers and data in there. So how do you get that? Well, when you start doing your project, you want to get a baseline of where the project is when you first start. And then as you start working on it, you want to be able to really calculate how much difference you're making in that particular project or role. That will definitely help you to be able to highlight your value on your resume. All right, so let me stop there for a minute, see if there are any questions so far. Mistake number one is creating a clinically focused resume. Any questions so far? All right, mistake number two is not leveraging your current role. So as a clinician, we are very skilled we have a lot of transferable skills that can move to different industries and to different parts of healthcare. And I think a lot of times we downplay that value because we focus so much on the things we did with the patient. But I want to say that you don't need a title to be an informal leader and to make a difference in your current role. So if you're waiting for the next role, if you're just trying to get out of patient care and you're just waiting for the next role to be able to start doing those things, then you're missing out on a huge opportunity. So it is extremely valuable to take initiative on your current role, maybe even try to take some things off of your current leader's plate. Volunteer on your days off or after work with other departments. Make sure other department leaders know who you are. Start some sort of maybe research group or journal club, or a team that you could lead, a project. Maybe you're doing chart reviews or audits. Maybe you're creating onboarding materials for new hires. Maybe you are brainstorming a solution to a current problem, whether it's a problem that you have or a problem that the other clinicians have. And so as you're building these skills, it's important to use your current role to do that. And if you don't have a current role that your leader is going to let you do that, then don't hesitate using a community role. If you're involved in a church or a community group or a sorority, if you're an alumni chapter of a sorority or something like that, you can use those roles as well. I remember several years ago, I was the secretary of my homeowners association. So that is a transferable skill too. So if you can't do it on your current role because maybe your leader won't let you, or you don't have enough staff to be able to allow you to break out of that clinician role, then you can certainly do that in other parts of your life. But the thing is to just build up those skills and make them quantifiable. But mistake number two is not leveraging your current role. Don't wait until you're at the dream role because it'll take a long time to get there. Don't wait until someone just gives you an opportunity. Sometimes you have to take initiative and take the opportunity. And when your leader asks for volunteers for projects, then that's a good time to really showcase that you're interested in doing something different. The other thing that's really meaningful about leveraging your current role is networking. So getting to know people, leaders, and other departments that may think of you when a role comes open in their department. And then really talking to your leader, hopefully you're comfortable talking to your leader about your desire to move into a different type of role, because they may know something that may help you, or they may know something that comes across their desk, or maybe may be able to help you or to give you opportunities to do some of these things. So don't hesitate to reach out to your current leader for their buy-in and to be able to network as well. So mistake number one is creating a clinically focused resume. Mistake number two is not leveraging your current role. And then mistake number three is prioritizing quantity over quality. And one thing that I see a lot, and I can understand it on one side of the coin, is, you know, clinicians get to the point of burnout, or they get to the point of, I just want to do something different. And so they start applying for every job that's out there, and applying for hundreds and hundreds of jobs, maybe get an interview or two, maybe not, but really haven't taken the time to really narrow their focus and determine what role may be a good fit for their personality, their lifestyle, their current season in life. And really, from my perspective, it's so important to find a role that you're going to love to do. We spend a lot of time at work. And so going from the frying pan to the fryer, so to speak, isn't really helpful. So if you want to get out of clinical care, I can definitely understand your frustrations. I would just advise to take a step back and really decide what you want to do, what is going to fuel you, what is going to get you excited about getting up in the morning, and then apply for roles once you figure that out. Really research the types of roles, what's required in the job description, what's required, what skills are needed. Research the company to make sure it's going to be a good fit with your values and with what your mission in life is. And some of the ways to really figure this out is to use a strengths-based career or personality assessment, which you can find some of them online. You can participate in a boot camp or course. You can volunteer in different areas of experience, see what fuels you. And you can also work with a coach if that works for you as well. But you really want to find the roles that are going to be right for you. And I'll give you a list of possible titles that's in the healthcare quality space specifically. But this is just to get your mind thinking, and there are more than these. But here are a few: clinical data analyst, utilization reviewer, clinical quality outcomes coordinator, quality management, which is like operations within the quality department, patient experience champion or manager, regulatory compliance, patient safety officer, quality or performance improvement specialist, population health, diversity, equity, and inclusion. The list goes on and on. So really explore the different types of roles and titles to see what may be a good fit for you. And then, you know, go from there instead of just applying for a bunch of jobs because you're ready to get out. Because that just takes longer. It just takes longer to get a job, because if you're not sure in what you want to do, that employers can also sense that. And even if you don't think that's what you're portraying, employers really want someone who they feel is going to stay with them for a little while, who they can invest in, and who knows what they want. So the 3 mistakes: number one, creating a clinically focused resume. Number two, not leveraging your current role. And number three is focusing on quantity over quality. All right, so I'm going to pause there for a minute, see if there are any questions. And if you have any questions after, you can send me a direct message. I'm happy to answer. If anything was unclear or any additional information you need, one thing I will share as well is that I have a series of workshops coming up starting April the 17th. And there are different dates and times available so that people can choose from the one that will work for them. It'll be the same workshop each day, so you only need to attend one. But really the workshop is to give you some practical steps for how to really get past some of these mistakes that clinicians are making when transitioning into a healthcare quality role specifically, and really give you step-by-step practical tips to be able to transition into or launch into that healthcare quality role. So there are 7 steps that I talk about all the time to get from where you are as a clinician to still working in healthcare, but using your clinical expertise in a different way. And so I'm going to do a 1-hour workshop that's coming up, actually starting next week. And we'll really, like I said, give you each step, give you practical tips, and you should walk away with a clear and defined plan. I realize that there's a lot of different information out there. Sometimes it can get confusing. And so for me, having a clear plan really helps, because I'm the kind of person that says, if I just knew what to do, I would do it, right? And if that's you, then this workshop will really work for you as well. So I will put that link in the comments so you can register, but it's going to be a very practical workshop, and I think it will be really valuable for you all. Let me go ahead and do that now. And if you have any questions about the workshops, then you can message me as well, and I will be glad to answer. And I think that's it. So let's see. Any other questions? All right, let's see if this even worked out. All